All right, guys, welcome to the channel. A little bit different. I'm actually in studio by myself, but there's a reason and a purpose for that today. In a couple days, we're actually having a special guest for podcast number 1 for 2019. So it's actually, this first podcast is actually going to be pretty cool, pretty special. We got one of our Las Vegas guys coming in, and but I'm not going to give any spoilers away in this little test sample that I'm doing here, and that's right. So on our podcast that we're going to be having in a couple days, we need to kind of have a couple little test samples. So this particular test is in a half an hour. We're trying to figure out 2 things. 1, how many glasses of wine does it take me to get drunk or a little tipsy? And 2, how it's actually going to make me feel the next day. So there's a point in life when you start getting older where your body starts changing. You don't have that same drinking mentality that you used to. When you drink a lot and you're older, it definitely takes a little bit more days to recuperate and get back to your normal self. For instance, for me, it actually takes about maybe 2-3 days, but before I can wake up the next day and just be perfectly fine, go to work and all that. But when you get older, it's definitely different. And also too, you get a little intoxicated quicker too. So what used to take 4 or 5 beers actually could take 1 beer to get a little bit drunk. For this particular test though, I needed something that definitely gives me a hangover. And so if I was drinking beer, it would actually take me a lot of beers to get me drunk to that hangover effect the next day. But for some reason, red wine, you know, this is a cab, but red wine gets me really hungover the next day. So I chose this particular drink for this little test here. Just to let you guys know, this brand is called The Navigator. This is a pretty damn good wine here. This is their cab. This bottle is about $32. You know, it's about mid-range, but it's definitely a damn good wine. But again, we're only doing a half an hour, so I doubt that in a half an hour I can drink this whole bottle. So let's just go and get this done here. This test was actually supposed to be done at one of our bars. I'm here today just to kind of take one for the team and do this solo here. So this bottle is really beautiful. Look at that. So we'll fast forward this part so that we can kind of get going here. All right. We will start our little timer here. Could possibly take more than 30 minutes, but hopefully it won't, because we want a really quick video. Okay, so we got our timer going, and we are going to start glass number 1. ASMR. Cheers. Certain factors though can actually skew this test though. So if I was out with my friends and when we're hanging out, my adrenaline's up, it could possibly take more alcohol just because of the mood that I'm in at that particular time. Or for instance, if I'm on a date or if I'm nervous or whatever, it can take more alcohol to actually get you a little bit more tipsy. But the scenario that I'm in right now, I'm in a room by myself, really no distractions. I really think in 30 minutes, I can actually get a little bit intoxicated quicker here with less amount of alcohol. So we might have to actually do this test again in like a real situation. But for our little podcast though, we kind of want to get something done so we can actually have some type of sample product here. And again, it'll all make sense once you guys watch this video. You're not supposed to actually drink wine in speed mode. You're actually supposed to enjoy it. So this is actually kind of not fun. So this is actually like a Mukbang wine drinking sample of the Navigator here. So again, we're on glass number 1. We're about 3 minutes into our little sample test study here, and I'll give you guys play-by-play of how this night is going. So 3 minutes. But we got to do something here. So we got this little puzzle here. If you guys don't know, I actually love to do puzzles here. There's this guy on YouTube that I love watching. His name is Chris Ramsey. I believe he's from Canada. He definitely has the best puzzle solving channel out there. He just doesn't open up packages and then like solves it. He actually does a whole bunch of cinematic videos. He has hit like over 1 million followers in such a quick time. It's all based off of how he presents his channel. It's done really, really well. But this particular puzzle, you can get this at any like trick store. It's really cheap. I believe this is like $9. So, but it's super fun. It's a level 4 puzzle. It's called the Padlock. If you can see right here, there's a little padlock in the lock here. But anyway, this particular puzzle, and it's just amazing. What amazes me the most is like these people that invent these puzzles. They're crazy because I don't even know how they actually do it. But when you have a puzzle like this though, it's like, and you want to solve it, there's many things that you got to do. You just don't fiddle around and start moving your particular puzzle around until you figure out something. You really got to decipher every little piece here. You know, you got to look at everything. Like here, if you see it, there is an opening here, an opening here. Another thing too is like you can shift the different little padlock parts. You can see that you're able to move this up and down here, and then you can also see that these two little circles, they actually split in half. So those are the keys that you kind of have to put together when you're trying to solve something like this. So that's that. So I got 2 cameras on right now. I got this camera right here, and I have this bottom camera right over here. You can see my stopwatch, you can see my glass of wine, and we're at 6 minutes, so let's take another sip here. So this one I already solved though. The thing is though, what we want to do is once we have our guests here on the channel, we really want them to they'll have, you know, just to kind of make them more relaxed. They get to choose a couple different little things that they can do that kind of open up the channel. So one is they can pick on our shelf. We have different little puzzles here from level 2 to level 5. They can pick whatever puzzle that they want, and they have until the podcast is over to actually take it apart. They don't have to put it back together, but they definitely have to take it apart. If they don't, they will have to actually come back and give us another puzzle. They don't have to spend a lot of money on it because there's a lot of cheap puzzles from $4 to all the way to like $10,000 puzzles that are like level 10. And again, this is like a level 4. But this particular puzzle is really cool because it took me a while. I mean, people can solve this like really fast, but it took me a while. And the way that I solved it was I watched every little movement on how the pieces were. So again, we got an open piece here. You turn it around, we have another open piece on the other side. So what I actually did was I was just kind of toying around, and like you have like this line here to kind of gauge stuff. And the way that I saw this was, and I'm not gonna lie, I did shake it around like this, and then something happened where it unlocked. But what I found out was what you needed to do was you needed to line up. If you see it right here, this little line here with the little padlock. So if you look at this though, just like this, you see how everything just made a perfect line right there? So that's what I based it off of. I'm like, okay, we got something going on right here. And then I actually moved the little padlock line where it was symmetric with this corner here. And when I did that, it did this. You see how it opened up like that? So at this point, I was able to kind of shift it. You see how there's like a shift here? Once I shifted it and I turned it back around, it was able to change the dimension of the opening. So if you look at it now, you see how there's like no openings here? It's all on the bottom. Let's take a sip of our drink here. That's why puzzles are so cool. But we do want our guests to see if they can break this open during our conversations with them. So they'll be podcasting, and at the same time, they'll be solving projects here. So it should be kind of fun and exciting kind of watch. But come on, Rich, let's change this here. Let's get this going. All right, so let's get this little heart shape going this way here. See how it looks like that? Okay, so now we change it. You see how it looks like this? So let's see what happens if we move it. We were like this. Let's move it down. Oh no, so that's the way that we came. All right, so we changed it though. It actually we were actually doing something there. Okay, let's see if we move this down this way here. Okay, all right, so we're here. So we are on glass number 2, and we're still trying to solve this damn puzzle here. You can see why this is a level 3 here. Okay, so now we switch that over, and we have everything on this side here. So let's try to maneuver this opposite. No, we gotta go back this way here again. So now let's try. So definitely switch. So now we got the 2 holes on the end here. So we are going to manipulate this. Let's see if we can disassemble this puppy. And there you go. You see how that happened there? So by shifting the little opening of these holes, we were able to kind of disassemble everything to different pieces here. So we got this padlock here, and like these little things have little holes here. I mean little hints too. So we got the padlock here, and then here if you look at it, the 2 little knobs here. Whereas if you look at this piece here, we had just the padlock right there, and then we have just the one little nipple thing right over there. So, but yeah, so that was that. So that's basically the padlock right here. That killed some time. It actually made me drink about a half a bottle. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this off. I don't feel tipsy yet, but I do feel the alcohol starting to kick in. I was thinking though, since I'm by myself, I'm just without any distraction, no loud music, nothing like that, I felt like I would get drunk a little bit faster. I normally drink wine with like food. I'm not a real big just like hang out and just drink wine. I know there's a lot of people when we do go out, they're always asking, I'll take a cab, you know, but I'm more of a beer drinker. Beer also doesn't give me like big hangovers unless I totally drink a lot. But right now, this is almost glass number 2. I don't think I should even drive having like just 2 glasses. But they do say though, for every glass of wine, you should wait an hour. So if you have 2 glasses of wine, you should wait 2 hours. But these days, just don't even drive, just Uber it. The one thing that I notice now, since I'm older, there's a point in life where you start having a tolerance for a particular alcohol. So when you first started drinking, you would drink 1 beer, you'd be totally buzzing, and then that's all you needed. You got older it took one beer, ended up taking 3 or 4 beers, to the point where you can drink the whole entire night. Once you start getting older, you start getting the opposite effect. You start drinking less and recovering a lot longer. I definitely think if I drank one more glass, I'll probably be pretty much done. But when you're out though, you're usually like taking sips of alcohol. You're not really drinking at like a pretty fast pace. Like I would probably be pacing myself a little bit more. Not quite done here, but I'm almost at that point where I don't even want to drink the rest of this, but I really want to see what my effects are going to be with exactly 2 glasses. 2 glasses of wine in 35 minutes gets me at that point where I'm starting to feel a little bit tipsy here. I wonder how it would be with the rest of everybody else too. But yeah, so we got about 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes for me to finish this here. If I was out and I drank 2 glasses of wine really quick, I'm pretty much done. I shouldn't even probably drink the rest of the night. And usually when you do go out with your friends in Las Vegas, let me just tell you, Las Vegas is a city that is 24/7. So most people won't even go out till about midnight. They're gonna start hanging out around 12 o'clock. So 30 minutes, I'm really done like at 12:30. But most of the time you're kind of pacing yourself. So you have 1 beer here, you're talking, you're chatting, you're eating food, you're watching the game, whatever you're doing. But in any given night though, I can find myself hanging out with my friends like at a bar or at a game or wherever we're meeting up at. And again, I wouldn't be drinking this fast either, but I can tell though that even if I separated these out a tiny bit, I think 2 glasses is by far the limit that I should probably drink, and then probably like call it. All right, so we got our test done here. Thank you for watching up to this point here. You watched me drink, you watched me solve a puzzle, and it's my little mukbang drinking with Let's TV. So see you guys at the podcast. This is all gonna make sense once we film the podcast. So that's coming up in a couple days, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Later.